key features of BLE is A, low power consumption, as I mentioned, it takes less energy. Short range communication, it's around 10 to 50 meters. उसके बाहर बात नहीं करता है, there's congestion problem. Low data rate, ज़्यादा, so any devices that send very limited amount of data, only there a BLE is used. That is why I mentioned fitness tracker. कितने steps चले आप 500 steps, कितना distance cover किया 1000 steps, only limited amount of data. So that is why in these devices BLEs are used. Compatibility with smartphones, obviously. Okay, now there are two things, a central device and a peripheral device. Central device is also called as client, which is a device that wants data, and peripheral device is a server which gives data. So in terms, central device could be a laptop, or a classic example is your phone, and peripheral device is nothing but a tracker. So how does Bluetooth low energy work? So we are going to go through all the types of Bluetooth here. First one is the normal Bluetooth, where it's used in cars, it's used in your gaming controllers, it's used in your headphones, etc. Bluetooth Smart Ready is your devices like your laptops, your phones, and then there is, that was Bluetooth smart devices, and the other devices are that uses BLE, only BLE. Classic example, again, remember, a fitness tracker, just a fitness tracker. So how does BLE work? And I am pretty sure everybody's seen this in their lives, but you do not know what is going on in the background. Why I'm talking a little bit in depth is because this is advantageous when you perform attacks. So for example, when two people are talking in a similar language that you do not know of, let's say now we are in Maharashtra, so let's say that two people are talking in Marathi. You are somebody who do not know Marathi. Now you're feeling FOMO. Now you want to go and talk to them, but you don't know Marathi. So you have to learn Marathi. It's very similar like that. That's why I'm just going in a little depth. So, lame example, right? But anyways, it works. BLE, first thing it does is, a device, as you turn it on, it starts advertising. It starts telling that, hey, this is me, I'm the tracker. It tells you the name, it tells you maybe your MAC address, etc. Scanning is your device, that's your phone, your central device, does the scanning. So as soon as this is turned on and your Bluetooth from your central device is turned on, it starts scanning. That is why when you turn on your Bluetooth and if somebody else's Bluetooth is on, you get a list of devices. Because the other person's Bluetooth is constantly sending advertisement packets saying, hey, this is me, hey, this is me. And your device scans it and it tells you the list. Connection establishment, once you tap on which device you want, a connection is established. Now, while communicating, GATT protocol is used where devices communicate using generic attribute protocol, which is also called as GATT protocol. Basically, it's the language that they use. Okay. Then there is a client-server interaction. Once a connection is established, as we saw before, one is a client and one is a server. Now, generic access profile. This profile or gap, you call it, not the fashion brand I'm talking about. This is specific to Bluetooth. Gap controls connections and advertisements. So this protocol is responsible when it sends advertisement packets, it uses gap protocol. There are two ways of sending these advertisement data payload. This is mandatory. क्योंकि अगर Bluetooth device ने बोला ही नहीं कि advertisement packets भेजा नहीं या बोला नहीं कि hey this is me, तो अपने Bluetooth को कैसा पता चलेगा कि Bluetooth on है या नहीं, या if somebody's device is working or not. You need a connection establishment. उसके लिए उसको बोलना ही पड़ता है कि hey this is me करके. So two ways, one is mandatory and one is periodically. Mandatory में once a Bluetooth is on, in your Bluetooth list, it's going to keep telling you the devices which are enabled, which whoever's Bluetooth is on. Okay, until and unless a connection is not established. एक बार connection established हो गया तो it will not show you. Periodically is in car, specifically in car, you have to turn on the pairing mode. there's a setting, you have to turn on the pairing mode. Until and unless then, even though the Bluetooth is on, it will not show you an advertisement packet. It will not show you in the list. It will not get discoverable. That is periodically. So that depends on device to device, but that is how mandatory is. Constantly it keeps sending the advertisement packet, and periodically, until and unless there's a tweak or a setting that is enabled, it will not show. Scan response payload. Now this is an optional secondary payload. If you take a JBL speaker, even though the Bluetooth of the JBL speaker is on, but your device and the JBL speaker device is not paired, but still it will show you a battery. If anybody have noticed it, I came across that. That battery percentage is additional information. Again, it differs from device to device. It is not necessary that every device should have it, but sometimes this response payload can give you some extra information also. And then once the connection is established, the advertisement packet stops. Then it is not going to keep telling ki, hey, this is me karke. Now the GATT protocol. GATT is generic attribute protocol. Why this is important, I'll tell you again a little later. I'll show you how and why this is important. This defines the communication semantics between a client and server. So basically it's like a rule book. How your data should go from one device to another, in what format. That is the responsible of GATT. Comes into the play when connection is established. So until and unless the connection is not established, they are not going to talk. After the connection is established, then the data transfer happens, right? Then the language is used. So after two devices get connected, then with the help of GATT protocol, the data is exchanged. Uses concepts like profiles, services, and characteristics. Now this is important. In fitness tracker, multiple things happen. Footsteps are calculated, heart rate monitoring happens, you can calculate BP. There are multiple things. So these are called as profiles. Now what are services? Let's, for example, for a better understanding, take footsteps. In footsteps, not only our steps are calculated, but sometimes even, nice, you're hungry. In services, not only footsteps are calculated, even distance is calculated. 100 meters, 200 meters. And I remember, so I use an Apple Watch. And in Apple Watch, what happens is, it gives you a streak. So if your goal is 100 meters, after you complete 100 meters, it will give you 1 streak. 200 meters, it will give you 2 streak. That is services. So it's sub-related functions. Then there are characteristics. Now what are characteristics? Nothing but the data. 500 steps. Steps becomes the service and 500 becomes the characteristic. Now why these are important is, you can manipulate this data. And that is how you can manipulate Bluetooth, how its function works. Now tools. The classic, good, best, nice tool is Ubertooth 1. It's a sniffer and an injector, so any Bluetooth communication that is happening, it will sniff it, it will tell you. It can also inject fake messages also. Uses 2.4 gigahertz transmitting and receiving capabilities. It's an open source, anybody can use it, and it was made by Michael Osman, and it easily integrates with Wireshark. What it means is that when you use Ubertooth 1, when you turn on your Wireshark, in the list of interfaces, you can see this device also. But this is $120 to $150. It's expensive. It's heavy on pockets. If you're rich, go for it. If not, we have a jugaad. Bluetooth adapter. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen this. Market में 200-500 रुपए में मिल जाता है. It's the same. Use 2.4 gigahertz. It supports BLE 4.0. Now the best point about this is, even though it supports BLE 4.0, but even if there are certain communications that is happening in a lower frequency, it will sniff that also. It's freely available, cost effective. $4 to $8 is around like 300 to 500 bucks. And even this easily integrates with Wireshark. Okay. Have you all noticed what is this? Do you all know? Anybody's used Wireshark? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. So we can sniff the data packet by packet in Wireshark. So why did I tell you that services, profiles, characteristics, all this is important? I am using BTL2 cap. If I can zoom this picture by any means. Let me try. Okay, anyways. So if you can notice, here I have put a filter. There are a lot of communication is happening, okay, with a lot of other protocols. It's capturing some other data as well. So I have put a filter that is called as BTL2 cap. Now what is BTL2 cap? There's a long data. It cuts it into chunks and then sends it to the receiver. Once receiver receives that chunks, it will reassemble it into that one string of data and then it will show it to you. And also L2 cap protocol, that is logical link controller and adaptation protocol, something like that, big. What it also does is which data should go to whom. For example, heart rate monitoring, right? Again, heart rate monitoring becomes the service profile. Service becomes high heart rate, low heart rate, normal heart rate. The characteristic becomes his value. अब उसका value अगर 80 is your normal heart rate, तो वो तो high heart rate में बोल नहीं सकता, right? और अगर if your high heart rate is 110, तो वो low heart rate में बोल नहीं, that data you can't show it in low heart rate, right? उसको सच्ची में heart attack आ जाएगा वो देख के. So that is the responsibility of L2 cap protocol कि the right data should go to the right value. So I put that. In that I have given another filter, which is, the value of the filter, that is 0x0004. Now what is 0x0004? It's a fixed channel ID. There are certain channel IDs that are used by protocols. So 0x004 is a fixed channel ID that is used by ATT protocol. ATT protocol, again the generic attribute protocol, uska ATT part hai. It is responsible for read and write inside the Bluetooth package that is being sent, the data. So I put that filter, so now it's showing me the list of only ATT communication. In that I have selected a write request, if you can see, and there's also an handle. Handle is very important. Every handle, every service, every characteristic has a unique UUID. In school, you all had roll numbers, right? That is how you were known. Similarly, every characteristic and every service has a UUID. Okay? So this is the handle value, handle name, and if you look down, there's an handle value. This is important because we are going to use this to manipulate, to turn on a Bluetooth, to turn off, etc. Now, how did I get this file in the Wireshark? In Android devices, you turn on your developer options, okay? You have an option of USB debugging, you turn it on. You have an option of HCI Blue Snoop logs. You turn that on as well. You connect your phone to your laptop. I'll tell you why this is a longer process. You connect your phone to your laptop. Via ADB, there's a command called as ADB bug crash. You run that command, it will create a log file of all the errors, of all the paired connections and all the information regarding to the paired connections. That log file I have used and I have tried to filter out the response. Sometimes you might, if you are in an airport, don't do this. If you are in an airport and now you want to have some fun, nobody is going to come and give you this device, na ki ye le bhai, karke dikha. Nobody is going to do that, right? So what you do is, as soon as you see a Bluetooth device is on and you are able to connect to that device, just connect. You don't need this. it's just on somewhere, and then you just connect it, okay? And whatever I told you, turn on the USB debugging, you connect it to your phone. Turn on USB debugging, turn on HCI Bluetooth Snoop log. You connect your phone with ADB, you do bug crash, and then you get a log file. That log file you filter in the Wireshark. And from Wireshark, you filter out ATT attribute. From ATT attribute, you find out a write request with a handle. From that, you find out the value, what that value does. And with that, you can manipulate the device, which is, let's say, somewhere far away from you. For this purpose, you need that log file. You do not need a device, but don't do this. I mean, do it if you can take the risk. Yes, ma'am?
Will this not work with laptop Bluetooth?
Laptop Bluetooth. Well, laptop Bluetooth uses Bluetooth 4.0. We are specifically targeting low energy devices here. Now, if you go to airport, people use these tags, right, for tracking their luggage. बना दो किसी को बकरा. Don't do it. Okay. I wanted to show you an example. Did you hear? Did you hear this? This is just turned on, okay? I'm going to keep it a little away. I don't need this device anymore. Here what I'm going to do is, we have an interface called as HCI interface, which Bluetooth uses. So I'm going to say sudo, I'll just use my history. Okay. LS scan is basically for any Bluetooth devices with low energy. So that all devices it's going to scan. Who's Firebolt? JBLP and Core Essential, GDLED. Anything else? Okay, I got what I needed. You see this? That was that tracker. So cute. Anyways, now we are going to use something called as GATT tool. GATT, which we saw earlier, it's very similar. GATT is useful for read and write. That is why somebody made a GATT tool for it. So we'll just use that. Okay. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to also, if you see you saw in the Wireshark, right? Like I showed you before, we have a handle value which has a write request. Do you want to go through that screenshot again so that you can understand this command? Okay. Hey, don't turn it off. Okay. So there's a handle value here. It's 0x0099. I mean, I know it's a very small screenshot, but I don't know why it's not going to full screen mode. And there we have a value. Okay, I'm going to make use of these two things. Okay, so there's a GATT tool, that's my command. I've given an interface, okay? I've given the MAC address, then I've told character read and write request. So basically what I'm trying to say is that there's a characteristic value that I want to read and I want to overwrite it with something that I want. There is -a, which is the handle that we found, okay, and its value. Now we don't know what it does, but we'll soon find out. I don't know if you can see it on the main screen, but let me show. Okay. Can you see some pop-up? Can you see some pop-up? Can you hear a ping in my laptop? Just
duplicate specific.
Do you hear a ping, kudung, kudung? So basically, I don't know how I can show you, but basically this device is getting to my laptop. It is getting connected and it is getting disconnected. So if this is far away from me and if I have enough information, I can connect it through my terminal. Okay, thank you so much. Do you all know this? I can't disclose the name for NDA purposes, but do you all know what is this? It's a tag. Let's not go in the name, but it's a tag. No, it's not an Apple tag. You revealed it. Okay, so I turned it on. Similarly, okay. Oh, okay. So similarly, I did the same thing. I did LS scan and I was able, now again for, I don't want any lawyers running behind me, so I'm not going to disclose the name. If you found it out, keep it to yourself. I got the MAC address. I have created my own script. We researchers at AminaSec, we were working on this. We created a script and I'm going to use that script and show you what happens. It's getting connected to my system. Now I did not know, I just have the enough information that I need is MAC address, its handle characteristic and its value. That's it. And I told you how you get that. You just need a log file. You do not need access to this device. Just connect it with your phone. You get the log file, you put it in the Wireshark, you find the handle, you find the value. Now what to do when you don't know what handle, what value? Trial and error, reverse engineering, that's all. You have to do trial and error, understand which Bluetooth, what does it do, what handle does what value does what. And then you can manipulate it and take control of the device. Again, the advantage is low power consumption, so that is why fitness tracker's battery lasts for days even though it's connected to your phone. Compatibility with smartphone, yes. Small factor and low cost, सस्ते में मिल जाता है. चाइना में तो 200-300 रुपए का फिटनेस ट्रैकर भी मिल जाता है. And the BLE which they use, low energy wala, that is also cost efficient, and that is the reason why the devices which use BLE are a little cheaper. Support wide range of applications and industries, robustness, reliability. It supports everything. It does everything apart from authentication. It does everything. Now the devices are changing. Now the BLE is also upgrading, but before it used to not happen. Where it is used, wearable devices, health monitoring and medical devices, IoT, asset tracking and location services, like I said this, automotive applications, industrial and retail applications. Anybody using any of this can try this, can literally try this. This similar process, same attack will work on anything and everything that uses a BLE. So that's me. Thank you for not sleeping. Thank you for listening to me. You can scan my QR. You can reach out to me if you have any questions. We'll have it during the networking session.